Your journey, your speed, your story. Find your pace. The reason you can't stick with running probably has nothing to do with motivation, but it's a lack of discipline. Does the mother of three want to wake up at 4 a.m. because she's training for a marathon? No, probably not. Does your friend who's training for a marathon that works a 9 to 5 and is sitting at a desk all day want to go for a run when he gets out of work at 6 p.m.? Probably not. I can go on and on with examples of this, but what do all of these people have in common? It's discipline. I always say this, that discipline is greater than motivation. Motivation is external, discipline is internal. So when it comes to discipline, you got to do it whether you want to or not. 9 times out of 10, every single runner doesn't want to go for a run that day, but they do it anyways. And that's how they see success in being a lifelong, long-term runner. A lot of things I notice in the running space is people quit because they go too fast too soon. They take or treat every single run as if it's a race. Like, I'm going to go out for a 30-minute run. Let's see how far I can get. Or I'm going to do 3 miles. Let's see how fast I can get it done. Not every race is supposed to feel hard. There are supposed to be easy days. There's supposed to be hard days. There's supposed to be speed days. There's supposed to be hill days. Every day that you go out for a run, you should not be running every single day, but every day that you go out for a run should not feel hard. It should feel like you could keep going. So if you're treating every single run like it's a sprint, like it's a race, yeah, you're going to hate it. You're not going to want to keep going. So let's maybe pull it back a little bit. If you're in the beginning stages of running, let's say you're a newbie into the space, maybe you've run a couple times, maybe you've done even a 5K, but you're still new-ish to running, at least running consistently. I would recommend literally running 1 to 2 times a week. That's it. A lot of people will set these goals of, I want to run 5 times every single week. And that's great. And do people do that? Sure. But most people don't do that right out of the gate. There's a lot of reasons why you shouldn't do that, like injuries. You don't want to get injured. But a main thing is you will end up burning yourself out, and then you'll start skipping runs. And when you start skipping runs, you kind of throw in the towel altogether. So let's pull back. If you're new into this running space, or, you know what, I'm even going to pull out the people that maybe used to run a lot, but they're getting back into it. Start with 1 to 2 runs a week, both of which easy. Set a timer, go for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You don't need to be running for an hour. Don't worry about mileage. Go based on feel. Go based on conversational pace. What I mean by that is, if you're running, could you call a friend or run with a friend and have a conversation? If not, slow down. Don't worry about what your pace is. Don't worry about how far you want to get. Just run because you want to run. That's where I would start. Another thing that I hear often and see and also do myself is comparing yourself to other runners, other faster runners, people on social media, people at your run clubs. Let's pull it back for a second. We cannot compare ourselves to other runners, especially if you're a beginner runner, or maybe you're a runner, a seasoned runner that took a break, maybe a couple years off, maybe a couple weeks off. You cannot compare yourself to other runners. And I'm saying this, maybe this is a little hypocritical because I find myself in that comparison game as well. We just need to remember that running is you versus you. Most things in life could be considered you versus you. But you don't need to compare yourself to anybody else, because what's going to happen is you're going to push yourself too hard. You're going to end up not liking running. We want to enjoy it, right? Why would we want to push ourselves to a point that we don't like the sport anymore? That's another reason why people stop. They compare themselves to other people. They're not running as fast as that person. They're not running as far. They're not doing as many miles as, Sally did last week. Sally put up 40 miles this week. I only put up 10. Who cares? Run for you, run what's good for your body. Every single person is different. So even if you go to a run club and you see there are pace groups that are 7, 8, 9 miles, or 9 miles, 9-minute miles, but you're in the 10, 11, 12, 13-minute pace groups, who cares? I will tell you that most people that go to run club, I would say 99.999% of those people do not judge you no matter what pace group that you are in. So don't judge yourself. Release it. Let it go. Run what you are comfortable with, because at the end of the day, no matter what pace you run, no matter how far you run, you are a runner. So let's find what makes you confident in running, what makes you comfortable in running, and what's going to keep you in the running space longer. We want longevity. We want you here for the long haul. So let's start with find the pace that's comfortable for you. Maybe find the people that you want to run with that make you feel confident and comfortable, and go from there. And again, start slow, and we can always work our way up. We can work our way up in speed. We can work our way up in more runs per week. But what we don't want to do is do too much too soon. So don't compare yourself to anybody else around you. Compare yourself to yourself, right? It's you versus you. Something I like to do is look back, a couple weeks prior or months prior or years prior, see where I was at then. Sometimes I don't want to see that because maybe I was faster back then. But other times I realize that I've gotten stronger, I've gotten better, I've gotten more consistent to running. Let's not do too much too soon, and let's not compare ourselves to what anybody else is doing. Instead, let's take some inspiration from others. Maybe you want to get faster. That's great. You see Sally doing 9-minute paces, you're at 12-minute paces. One day you will get there if you do it in the right way. You take the right steps and you don't rush it. Take inspiration, but don't let what other people are doing ruin running for you. Instead of comparing yourself to other people, let's figure out your why. Why do you want to get into running? Why do you want to start running consistently? Is it because you just want to be fit and active and be healthy? Is it because you saw somebody do a marathon and you were so inspired? Whatever it is, find your why and remember that that is what you need to be looking for and working towards, not comparing yourself to what anybody else is doing. Everybody's why is different. It doesn't need to be the same. Just find your why and stick to it. If you're starting to run and you're not seeing any progress, do you have structure to your routine? Are you following a plan, or are you just kind of winging it and going based off whatever it is that you're seeing online or just whatever your feel is? That's great in the beginning. But once you start running for a few weeks, if you want to start seeing progress, it's good to find structure. I talked a lot about this with my episode with Matt Zelaya. We mentioned how there's so many different avenues that you could get structure in your running, different plans. So you can have a running coach. You can go buy a book. You can use an online training platform. There are so many avenues to take. And I believe that you need to do what's best for you. If hiring a coach and having somebody that you need to report back to will work for you, that's great. If maybe you just want to take a plan out of a book that has been used by multiple athletes and multiple people over the years, that's also great. Find something that's going to work for you, because having no structure, you're not going to have, think about this. You're in school or you're at work. You have structure every single day. You show up to work 9 to 5. Why does it work? Because it is structured. It is something that you have to be putting onto your calendar every single day. So same thing with running. You're not running every single day. Reminder, we're slowing down. We're starting easy and we're going to build up. But if you don't have it basically scheduled into your routine every week, and you have exactly what you need to do when you need to do it, no matter where it's coming from, a book, a platform, or a coach, it's going to be really hard to be consistent. So find a structure that works for you, whatever that looks like. Now, another thing is you don't need to take it too seriously, okay? If you miss a run, it is not the end of the world. That is something that I think happens to a lot of newbies, is they have this structure, which is great, but they skip a run, and instead of just either making up for it at another day or just leaving it behind and continuing to move forward with whatever their plan is, they throw in the towel and they feel like a quitter and they don't feel like they're good enough because they missed one run. Let me tell you something. As a runner, basically, for my entire life, the amount of runs I've skipped, probably too many, honestly. But it doesn't matter. Skipping a run doesn't make you any less of a runner than if you don't miss like a run every single day in your program or platform, whatever it is that you're using. It doesn't need to be that serious. Even if you are training for a marathon or an ultra or an Ironman, whatever it is okay. A lot of times that you skip runs, you might just have to do it because your body's telling you I need a break. And you might need a mental break. You might need a physical break. Who cares? Again, don't compare yourself to others, because I guarantee you, even the social media influencers, the people that you follow on social media, or the people in your run club, they're not going to admit to how much they skip, because why would they? But everybody skips their runs. And if they don't, you know what? Point me to someone who has never skipped a run. You're not going to find one. Honestly, even the Olympics athletes, everyone skips runs. Don't take it too seriously. If you take it too seriously, you're going to suck the fun out of it. Have fun with it, especially in the beginning. And honestly, especially when you're 7 marathons deep. If you lose the art of having fun and running, why are we doing it? Yeah, great. Is it great for our health? Of course. But I could choose a multitude of other fitness activities for my health. I'm choosing running. And if you're watching this, I'm assuming you're wanting to choose running, or maybe you already have chose running, whatever it is. We should enjoy the fact that we get to run. We get to run. You don't have to run. We get to run. So don't take it so seriously. Have fun with it. When I first got into running, it was sports related. Like I was running with my teams and all that stuff. After that, I got into running basically just solo, and I didn't love it. I kind of actually hated it, and it really did suck the fun out of it. Here are some ways to make running more enjoyable, a little bit more fun. You could, if you have to run alone, listen to a podcast. Listen to me. I mean, I know you want to hear from me. You could listen to music. The best thing I will ever recommend when it comes to music is creating a brand new playlist, especially when you're in a running slump. Create a brand new playlist of songs that you haven't heard for years. Go back to your high school, go back to your middle school, whatever it is that you were listening to back then. I love a good Disney Channel remix. I love some Hannah Montana and some Jonas Brothers, but also sometimes I really want some like hardcore rock, like badass, like put me in the mood type of run. Mixing up your playlists, mixing up podcasts, that's going to be a lot of fun. Another thing that you could do, and I'm going to continue to talk about things that you could do alone first, is find cool places to run to. Change up your route. I also believe that's a good thing for safety as well, but changing up your route. Maybe you run to a lake just to see some nature. Maybe you run to your friend's house. Maybe you run to your hubby's work. Whatever it is, run to a sweet treat, run to a gas station to get a Diet Coke. Find different ways to make your runs more fun. Outside of that, if you can run with people, you could join a running club. If you live in an area where there isn't run clubs, I understand. I get that there aren't a lot of run clubs in every single town and city and whatever. One, you might be able to start your own. Doesn't need to be 100 people. Let me tell you that. A run club is basically whatever you want it to be. 2 people, 5 people, 10 people, 100 people, whatever it is. Find people to run with. I love that. I don't run every single run with people, but having that, mix of running alone with some music and then running with people makes it so enjoyable. And also, you can phone a friend if you can't physically run with anyone. There are so many ways to make running fun and not feel so serious and so dreadful. So let's find a way that works for you and make running more fun. So to wrap all of this up, if you're a beginner runner, or maybe you're a runner that took a hiatus, or maybe you are a consistent runner, but you're just looking for a few more avenues to continue your running journey, running is not linear. No one has a straight, perfect path in this running field. You're going to have ups and downs, good days, bad days, probably a lot more bad days than good days, if we're being honest. But you just got to find what works for you. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Take it as inspiration. Find structure that works for you. Find enjoyment. Find people. Find your support system. Whatever it is, sign up for a race. Don't sign up for a race. You don't have to sign up for a race to be a runner. You can still run. But whatever it is, just find what works for you. Don't take it so seriously. Enjoy your running journey, no matter where you are in it. Who cares if you missed a run or you skipped a run? Don't worry about that. Focus on the runs that you are doing. Focus on the moment, and every run that you do is another run done. Every run that you do is only going to propel you and push you farther into your running journey and get you better. So don't worry about what you missed. Focus on the positives when it comes to running. When it comes to being a runner, we are constantly our worst critic. We are so negative. Stop worrying about any runs that you missed or didn't do. Stop worrying about the bad runs. Everyone has bad runs. Honestly, 9 times out of 10, most of our runs are bad. Focus on all of the positives. Focus on the good runs. Focus on getting another run done, and just focus on propelling yourself forward in this running journey. Now that I'm done with my little motivational rant, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I posted to my stories a couple days ago to submit the questions that you've been dying for me to answer. So we're going to go through as many of them right now as we can. How do I actually start running if I feel so out of shape? Honestly, everyone feels out of shape, even when they are in shape. So like I said in the beginning of this episode, start slowly. The last thing you want to do is go too fast too soon and burn out, because that's not going to get you to where you want to be any faster. So if you feel out of shape, slow down. Let's start enjoying our runs. So if you go out for a run and you're like, I feel so out of shape, I can't breathe, slow down. Also, take walk breaks if you need. Do what you need to do to finish or complete your run. So if you feel out of shape, you're maybe running too fast, slow down. If maybe you are running as slow as you possibly can and you still feel out of shape, do the run walk method. I'm really upset about Jeff Galloway's passing. He was actually the number one guest I wanted on this podcast because I believe so deeply in his run walk method as someone who has used it for many years. If you haven't heard of the Jeff Galloway method, I highly encourage you to look this up because this is a great way to get into running safely, or just if you are a newbie, maybe you're out of shape, or maybe you just can't run 10 minutes consecutively. Doesn't matter. Look up the Jeff Galloway method. I highly recommend. That will be something that will definitely help you feel like you're getting into shape a little bit faster. That's what I would say is start slow, look into his method. That might help you. But even when I'm in shape, there was one weekend I ran 34 miles with 9,000 feet of elevation gain. The next week, I could barely walk up a flight of stairs without being out of breath. You're always going to feel a little bit out of shape. Let's be for real. But go at your own pace. How many days a week should I be running as a beginner? Like I said earlier, 1 to 2 days a week is all you need to start. Do that for a few weeks. Then you can slowly build. I don't run more than 5 days a week in marathon training. I usually stick with 3 to 4 days a week. That's just me. Don't compare, but just for reference, as someone who does run a lot, I don't do more than 5 days a week, even at my most. I'm usually 3 to 4 days a week. How long did it take you to feel like running got easier? I'll let you know when I figure that out because running never feels easy. It never feels easier. Honestly, running consistently has helped make it feel a little bit easier, but in reality, most of my runs don't feel easy, even when I'm running my easiest pace. So I wish I had a better answer for you for that because it doesn't ever feel easier. You get stronger and then you end up pushing yourself more, and then that feels hard. And then once that feels easier, I guess, then you start doing something even harder. So ultimately, it'll never really get easier. You'll just continue to get better and continue to keep pushing yourself. What do I do if I keep starting and stopping over and over again? I'm going to take this as you start your running journey and then you stop, not necessarily run walk, because take that run walk method and please do it. I think this whole conversation that we're having today is to help you from stopping and starting. It is normal to take a hiatus from running, but maybe like a week or two or maybe a month. If you're starting to run for a week or two and then you're stopping for 6 months, you really haven't gotten into your running journey. And I really hope this whole conversation will help keep you from that. If you're starting and stopping, ask yourself why. Are you doing too much too soon? Are you going out and running 3, 4, 5 days for your first week, and then the following week you're only running 1 or 2, and then you're feeling defeated? Find some structure and stick with it. Take structure as like work. If you change your mindset to my runs 2 days a week are appointments or work that I can't miss, that will help. So change your mindset a little bit of this is no longer an option. This is mandatory. That might help. How slow is too slow? Pace is relative. If you're moving 1 foot in front of the other, you're not slow. Slow is, I hate the term slow. And I know it's a term and whatever. Slow is relative. If you're moving 1 foot in front of the other, you're running. Don't worry about being slow. Don't worry about being fast. Again, that comes into comparison. If you're saying you're slow, that means that you're comparing yourself to somebody else. Don't worry about that. Worry about yourself. Slow will always change no matter where you are. So one day your slow might be a 9-minute mile. Another day it might be a 12-minute mile. Another day it might be a 7-minute mile. Don't worry about being slow. Just worry about moving. What if I'm the slowest person at Run Club? I get this question all of the time, and I completely understand. As somebody who founded a run club, in the beginning, I didn't really know what I was doing, honestly, especially when it came to paces. So I get it. Finding a run club that is pace inclusive to your paces is really important. And not every run club is. And that doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. When it comes to my run club specifically, because this is all I could talk about, we have paces now from 7 minutes per mile to about 12 minutes per mile. We only have those pace groups because those paces continually show up. So do some research and find a run club that's going to make you feel confident and seen. If you are a 12-minute mile runner or an 8-minute mile runner and you're unsure if that run club has it, ask them. Literally just DM them, message them, reach out to them, however you need to do it. Ask them. If they have it, you're going to fit in. You're going to be great. If they don't have it, that doesn't mean that they are a bad run club. It just means that maybe they haven't had people in that pace group show up. You will find a pace group where you will feel included. Doesn't mean the other run clubs are bad. It just means that they don't have that to offer. So just find a run club that makes you feel good and makes you feel seen, and that is inclusive to your pace. And that's all. How do you stay motivated when you don't feel like running? Discipline is greater than motivation. I will say this until I'm blue in the face and until the day I die. We talked about this at the beginning. We talked about it a little bit a few minutes ago. You have to be disciplined in everything. You are never going to be motivated all the time. Let's talk about what motivation is in a way that you'll understand it. Let's paint a picture on motivation and why it's external and why it won't get you to your goals always. Back in the day, and I say this back in the day because I definitely feel like this isn't like something that we do now, but let's just say, for example, I'm going to paint this picture and don't compare yourself to any of this. Summer's coming. It's April and you want to lose weight for summer and look good in a bikini. Okay. That's external motivation. Most times 2 to 3 weeks into a diet or some fitness regimen, you end up falling off. Why? Because that's external motivation. It motivated you for a couple of days. It motivated you for a couple of weeks, but that's not long-term motivation. Even if you got there, then what? Let's say you did lose the weight and you look good in the bikini. Then what? Now you have to find something else to motivate you. Motivation is external and it's short-living, short-lasting, whatever. Discipline is what you need to find and work on and what's going to get you the results long-term. If you are not disciplined to show up when you don't want to, you're not going to see results. If you're not disciplined to show up even when you do want to, it's not going to get you results. You have to be disciplined to show up day in and day out. On your hard days, on your easy days, on your hill days, the days you don't want to do it, on the days mentally you're exhausted, physically, you don't feel like it, you have to be disciplined. Motivation comes and goes in waves. You want to train for a race? Great. What happens when that race is over? You're done. If you don't have a race on the calendar, do you feel motivated to keep going? Probably not. There's so many different examples I can use here. I'm just trying to paint the picture that motivation is external and it's short-lived. Discipline is what's going to get you longer. So if you're not feeling motivated to run, I don't care. You got to show up anyways. So if you're not feeling motivated, that's normal. Everyone loses motivation. I lose motivation every single day. You just got to show up anyways. How do you stay consistent without burning out? This is a great question. And we actually talked a lot about burnout in episode 3 with the therapist Debbie Massoud. There's a lot of ways that if you are experiencing burnout, how to get out of it. We talk a lot about in that episode. Please go watch it. It was so good. But let's talk about how to avoid burnout when possible. I don't think it's 100% possible to avoid burnout, but this is where maybe finding a coach could help to help build a structure that works for you. And you could be honest about how you're feeling to make sure that you're not getting burnt out. But if you're doing too much, too often, consistently, you're inevitably you're going to feel burnout. So maybe let's not do that. If you're somebody that wants to do a bunch of races, schedule the races so that you have enough time in between to maybe take a couple of weeks off, relax, take a vacation, or just not run for a couple of weeks. For me, what I do when I'm starting to feel burnt out, I literally take a break, a week or two, even if I'm in the middle of training. Not saying that you need to do that. Again, I'm just going to talk about my personal experiences here. If I'm feeling burnout, I will just pull back. I will pull back totally. Do what's best for you. Use this as maybe some inspiration, but don't compare yourself to other people because other people experience burnout as well. The goal is to not get burnt out. So take breaks, talk to people, get a coach, whatever it is that you could do, but don't do too much too often all year round. You'll inevitably get burnt out. We don't want that. How do you deal with the mental battle during runs? We talked actually a lot about mental strength in my episode with Matt. So definitely go check that out, especially if you're doing something long, like long endurance sports. But let's just say on a day I don't want to run, but I'm disciplined enough to do it. What's going through my brain? Well, one, I get to run. Changing my mindset is number one. I get to run. I get to do this. Another thing that I do is just tell myself, just go out, do a mile, do 10 minutes, do 15 minutes. Once I get past that hump, I inevitably want to keep going. During races, when it gets really, really, really hard, it's more of just, I don't want to let myself down. So I'm not going to quit. I'm going to do the best that I can. Sometimes if that doesn't work, I reach out to somebody. I reach out to my community. I'll call my dad. He'll tell me to suck it up and keep going. Love that. That's why sometimes I avoid calling him because sometimes he tells it to me too much like it is. But if I can't do it myself, I will reach out to somebody else, sending a text, calling, phoning a friend. But most times than not, I'm able to figure it out just because of the amount of years I've been doing this. I think the longer you are in the sport of running, the more mental strength you end up inevitably building and working towards, that you're able to almost beat down your own demons, which is usually, again, yourself. So maybe in the beginning, when I wasn't as mentally tough, I phoned for friends a lot, phoned my dad a lot, maybe listen to a podcast or, maybe listen to something on TikTok that was motivational, or just told myself 10 minutes, go do it, suck it up and do it. And I finish it. But the longer you're in this, you will get mental strength. You will build this mental strength in your brain that you will be able to push yourself more than you ever thought that you could. So build your discipline, and with discipline will come the mental strength, and you'll be able to get through anything that you put your mind to. What's something about running that no one talks about? How disgusting it is. Literally. The things that you're putting your body through sometimes, it's crazy what could actually happen. You could get sick, either coming out of your mouth or coming out of your butt. A lot of things happen when you are running a lot, especially in endurance sports. The number one rule when it comes to endurance sports, whether you're training or racing, is you never touch anything from the waist down on an athlete because they've probably peed themselves. They might have even pooped their pants. It happens. Running is actually really gross. But when they say blood, sweat, tears, they need to be adding more bodily fluids to that. Running in endurance sports can get a little gross, but it's also like normalized. I feel like just saying this right now, a lot of people that are listening are going to nod their heads and be like, yeah, it is. Or they're watching this and they're like, yup, agree. I've definitely peed my pants before. If I will say this, my number one tip, especially for new runners or even runners that maybe are just trying to get into nutrition, the nutrition aspect of running, never try anything new and not have a bathroom on your route. You should always be running where there are bathrooms that you can run to when you are running, because there's nothing worse than getting stuck miles without a bathroom and you literally cannot hold it and you are just trying to find a bush or something. Don't recommend that. That happened to me last year for the first time in my life in 31 years. I actually pooped my pants on a long run. And you know what? That is the truth. That is reality. It is what it is. So if you're deciding to get into ultras or endurance sports, marathons, half marathons, whatever, just know that it is gross and a lot of things are going to happen to your body that you didn't know would ever happen. If you thought peeing your pants stopped when you were 8 years old, nope. Get into marathons and that will change. So yeah, that would be the thing that most people don't know about endurance and running, is all the things that happen that are really disgusting. But the sport is beautiful. with all of that. So that would be it. Well, that's all I got for you today. So thank you all so much for listening. And if you could take anything from this episode that I said and let it stick with you, it is that discipline is greater than motivation. So even on the days, and there's going to be a lot of them, that you don't want to show up, do it anyways.